Joe,
You knew.
Joe,
You?
I knew that was false.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, you guys probably guessed. I knew you guys were fucking smell that a mile away.
Yes.
I made up an excuse.
Steve's a bitch. All this week
on Inappropriate with Jim and Steve.
Welcome back to another episode of Inappropriate, and I miss the hell out of everybody, especially you, Steve.
I miss the hell out of you, Jim, even though it feels like I've been avoiding you.
We're going to get into this, okay? Because we briefly talked about this, I think on either the last episode or episode 4, that we were all going to be, even Joe.
Yep,
you,
even
Joe, and I were going to be at the beach at the same time. Just separate vacations, but at the beach at the same time. And there would have been no reason a meteor could have hit the earth and we still would have met up and hung out.
Yes, there was zero doubt in my mind that we were not going to hang out. I was like, oh, it's perfect. It's the stars have aligned for
a once in a lifetime.
The stars have aligned that Jim, Steve, and Joe are all within the vicinity of each other. You know, I mean, each of us were in different beaches, but we're all within an hour of each other.
Within 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes of each other. And, well, let me just say this. I learned 2 things about myself.
Oh, excellent.
With this trip. One, that I'm getting old. And it hinders me from doing things that normally I am all gung-ho for. And 2, I'm not a good friend anymore.
Well, let me speak to 2 of those points.
There are only 2.
I think I agree with both of them.
Uh-huh.
The first point, let me say this, because we are getting old. Back up a couple years, you could have done anything during the day, and somebody's like, I'm going out, you're going.
Yes.
That doesn't work anymore once you hit your 40s.
That is true.
So, like, even for me, because I knew on Saturday we were going out to celebrate my wife's birthday, I guess I could say I was conscious the entire day of what I was doing so that I did have the energy and the enthusiasm to go out later. It wasn't just like I could party all day and then go out at night.
Yeah.
And I don't think you prepped that way.
I did not prep that way, although all right. Let's just go into it. So we set up 3 different occasions.
And the first one was easy. It was like, hey, we're going to meet at this beach. Which was 35 minutes from Joe and probably 5 minutes from you.
Yeah, I was on 54th Street, so it was
3 miles away.
So it was 3 miles away. So it wasn't far away. Now,
we were getting there at 11. I said, "Hey, anytime after 11."
Yeah. So that was the first day we were there. Like, we got there the night before.
Right. Same with us.
When you have young kids, my kids are 2 and 4, and I have a 19-year-old, but we won't include her because she can just go with the flow. Where we were, the beach kind of like dropped off, and there was kind of like there's
a little ledge.
There's a little ledge from just the sand being pulled away. So I take my son up there, and he's 2, and I take Nick up there, and I sit at the water. I'm just like, look, buddy, here's the waves, coming up, and he has no fear of water. All of a sudden, a fucking rogue wave comes, and fucking over my head, over his head, like over the ledge, to where I had to hold on to him because I didn't want to get swept out into the fucking sea. He was not happy about that afterwards. Saturday, we went out on the beach early. We set I have a fucking tent I have to set up with them.
I have that's miserable.
All that shit. And it was like lugging that to up where you guys were.
But we had tents and we had umbrellas. Well, I don't know if we had a tent, but we had 2 big umbrellas. But you had the kids. That was the thing. The kids could entertain the kids.
Yeah. My kids stayed out on the beach for a total of 15 minutes. They fucking hated it and cried and screamed and didn't want to go near the water.
So you couldn't hand them off to the grandparents and be like, Steph and I are going to come up and have some adult time?
No, because it was like the first fucking day we were there.
All right, so that's the first time.
Yes, that's number 1 of me being a bitch.
And then the second time, we all made plans to go to
dinner.
A dinner. And we made plans. It was a restaurant that I know you haven't been to, most likely.
No, I haven't been there.
a great restaurant. I'll plug it. There's two of them, one in Rehoboth and one in Dewey. We went to the one in Dewey. It's called Nalu. It's a Hawaiian-themed restaurant.
Mm-hmm. All for it.
And Ghost. Steve is a fucking ghost. We text back and forth. Joe's like, I'm in. I don't care which one. I don't care what time. We set up a time, set up the day. And then, 45 minutes? We don't hear from you for a complete 24 hours. Like
I pulled a Joe move.
Like zero actual interaction to the chat.
I didn't look at my phone, and I lied and told you guys I got hammered at alley-oops, which you knew.
Joe,
you knew.
Joe, I knew that was false.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, you guys probably guessed. I knew you guys were fucking smell that a mile away.
Yes.
I made up an excuse. And my excuse was so fucking stupid, but I was like, I'm kind of known as the wild card crazy guy. I said I went to alley-oop and drank all day and got drunk and passed out and woke up. Honestly, what happened is I didn't feel like driving.
You could have rode with us. You could have drove up 3 miles and rode with us.
I know. I didn't. And
it was really only 20 minutes. I mean, it's a straight shot.
Yeah,
there's
for some reason,
zero
I thought
turns.
It was like 40 miles away.
There's zero turns. It's right where Bottle and Cork is.
And no, what sucks is my wife. Like a lot of you'd be like, oh, the wife probably didn't want to go. She was all in on all this stuff. It was me. It was fucking me.
God, I'm so pissed.
I know, and you should be. You should be. And I feel so bad about it. And I was just like, you know what? I could just keep the lie going, but on a podcast, I already fucking ruined myself most of the times on here. So why not just be completely honest?
So the number 3.
Yes.
This is the one I think.
This is the one that surprised me.
So
that I didn't.
It was Saturday night. We had these big plans. We had some friends, Susan and Sean, Stacy and Justin.
Yeah, and I know Stacy and Justin.
My wife and I.
Yeah.
It was my wife's birthday. It was her actual birthday Saturday. It wasn't like her birthday was, Tuesday and we're celebrating. It was that was her birthday. We said we're going to start at 7:00, which is old. It's old people time to start going out.
Yeah, yeah.
So they came to our house at 7. We Ubered down. We started at the Cork Bar.
Yeah.
Which easy going.
Yep.
And they now have Surfside, which if you're down Ocean City, it's like a twisted tea but better. No sugar, no whatever.
Really?
It's like it's we drink it all the time down there, and no place had it last year, and now it seems to be growing. Anyway, so we started at Cork Bar. We were just going to do this like bar hop. We went down to the Bearded Clam, and then the oldest bar in Ocean City went to Harbor Inn.
Oh, you did go there?
Which is a complete dump, as you would expect.
It looks like it has like a if you go to Skateland and it has its menu on the wall where it has like its own magnetic
basement.
Tiles.
Yeah, it looked like somebody's basement. Literally the ceilings maybe.
Is it the one on the
them.
boardwalk that says this is the oldest bar in Ocean City?
No, Harbor Inn is halfway between on the bay side, kind of by MR Ducks.
Okay,
but it's like a side street. Just like there's no bars on that. It's just that.
Gotcha.
And then we went over to MR Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Had a couple drinks.
Which I've always wanted to go to MR Ducks. I've never been there.
Really?
We
didn't take the duck shot this time, but they have this like a plastic duck, and they pour a natural light and amaretto into it.
Oh.
And you chug a duck.
Tastes like Dr. Pepper, kind of.
It tastes better than it sounds.
Yeah.
I've drank one before. A little unsanitary, if you ask me, because I don't know how they ever wash them out. To just pass them son of a bitches
They
around.
dip it in that fucking sink.
They dip it in your slosh water.
Yeah, and they're like, it's 1, 2, 1, 2.
It comes
clean.
with COVID, basically.
Yeah.
And then Sean says, well, then we were going to go to Purple Moose. We were going to go to Purple Moose anyway, and then if that wasn't happening, which it's always happening, but if that was happening, we were going to make our way back up to, back up Ocean City, start climbing the streets. And Sean said, hey, I think Surreal's playing it
and I knew this.
Purple Moose.
And I knew this.
And I said, where the fuck is Steve? Because you were like, I'm going to sneak out, which I knew was bullshit. I'm like, if his family was walking down and doing the boardwalk, ain't no fucking way Steve's like sneaking out for a drink. But I thought maybe that was just his way of saying like, he's just going to get out for a little while.
Yeah. So I'm sorry if you want to
I'm just saying. I thought,
yeah.
I said, Steve's definitely coming out. Let me text this motherfucker.
Yeah. So earlier in the day.
Because everybody's, if you don't know, Surreal is Steve's favorite cover band.
It
of all
is
time.
my favorite cover band. There was a period of time seeing Surreal that I was not allowed to see them because the sound guy for the band would kick me out when he saw me come in, because I would just get up in the stage and like put my hands like I did the make the music louder, which is basically like wiggling your fingers up in the air.
Spirit fingers.
Yeah, spirit fingers. And I would do it so much that it annoyed the band, and they asked the bouncer, the sound guy, to kick me out. And I've been kicked out of multiple bars seeing this band. But guess what? I don't know what the saying is. Like, I don't know. I guess the more they hate me, the more I love them, kind of thing. Like
forbidden fruit.
I'm a
glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I'm a
You
battered
only want what you
wife or
can't
something
have.
like. Like they keep coming back for some reason when they shouldn't. But I love the band so much. So, and I knew they were playing Friday and Saturday night there. All right, and my wife earlier in the day, like in the morning time, and she said, "Hey, I know Jim and Nicole are going out for Nicole's birthday. So, I'll see if my mom will watch the kids, and we'll go. If not, you are more than welcome to go."
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So it's like 6 o'clock. They're like, let's go get dinner. And I'm like, all right, should I do the thing where I'm not going to go get dinner with you guys? I'm just going to go out.
Yes.
Like, it's our
Yes, that's what you should have done.
It was our we were leaving the next morning. It was our last night there. So I was just like, well, I'll go out to dinner. Because there was all these stipulations with fucking dinner. Like, people didn't want to have a wait, or they didn't. They
There's no chance you go to Burger King and there's a wait at a city.
Yeah, so it's a reasonable.
It's a
reasonable wait. So people wanted seafood. So I was like, all right. Decided upon to go to Hooper's. All right.
Which we went, I think, the night before.
All right. So Hooper's is right over the bridge in Ocean City, and it's a big barn looking thing.
It's on the bay.
It's a very popular place. All right.
It's all you can eat.
Yeah.
You guys didn't get all you can eat?
No, we didn't do
When
that.
my wife and I were there, like, who doesn't ever just get the all you can eat?
No, I know what I got. I got the awesome clawsome, which was a lobster, snow crab legs, and two big Maryland crabs, and like a piece of corn. It was fucking. I realized at this trip that I love lobster. I love eating
lobster's
love fucking eating lobster. So we go there and we keep checking the wait times. They have an option to check wait times.
And it says, "Come on in."
It says no wait.
No wait.
No wait. So I was just like this.
Until you pull up.
Yep, exactly. I am like this.
It
Great.
doesn't work.
I'm like, great. We'll get in. We'll eat maybe an hour. Back home 7:30. 7:30. I'll be.
We did the exact same thing. Now, we were going there anyway, but I was doing call ahead.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, check the website. I kept refreshing it because I'm like, there's no fucking way that Hooper's has no wait.
Yeah.
And it kept saying, no wait, come on in.
Yeah.
No wait,
Yeah.
come on in. Except one time, I refreshed it and it said, how many in your party? And then it refreshed really quick and it said, no wait. And before we got there, I'm like, they turned it off.
Oh, yeah.
During I guess, prime time or whatever.
Yeah. So
you pull up and you can't even find a parking spot.
Yes. Couldn't find a
I
fucking
had to park
spot.
2 strip malls down. Literally in front of the
we pull up and I'm like this. Fuck. So then we go up and we have 8 people. So
you pull up, let the grandparents out and everybody, then you go drive off somewhere.
So we get up to the door and it's a 40 minute wait. So I'm like, all right. So now we sit down to start eating at 7. All right. It's fine. Like it's 7 o'clock. And no one was getting all you can eat crabs. So I was like feeling good. I was like, all right, here we go. Everybody's going to eat
moving
fast.
forward.
It's going to move quicker because we're not going to be sitting there waiting for somebody to eat. We finish dinner, get in the car, and I look, and it's fucking like 8:30. I was like,
we were probably still at Cork Bar at 8:30.
So I was like, fuck. And I was just like, all right, I'll get home, reassess the situation, and then I'll go down. So then we drive back to the house, finally get back, because, Saturday night in Ocean City, it takes a little bit longer to get everywhere. So then we finally get back, drop everybody off, and then Steph's like, are you going out? and I was just like, let me see and get a status update of where Jim, because I didn't know.
And you never text me, you son of a bitch.
I did text you, and you told me you were in.
Did you text me or did I text you?
No, I text you. I texted you first because I figured you thought I was a lost cause.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Jim is right now checking the.
Yeah, I wanted to see.
I said, "Where are you guys at?" By the time I was ready to go out, it was 10:03, and you were at the marina deck and on the way to the Moose. So it was still like in the cards, and I was just like this. All right, I don't feel it. I'm full of seafood.
I do understand that feeling.
And it was all around just a bad
mojo.
Bad mojo for me. Like it's my fault. And it was just like and I just realized I was like, I'm old. Like I was thinking like at 10 o'clock when we would go out for guys trip, 10 o'clock was the norm. We would go out. We'd have beers before, and when we started going out at 10, and you hadn't even been to where Surreal was going to be.
I wasn't even 100% sure that Surreal was there. He just said it.
Oh,
and
they
I
were
was
there,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'll take your word on it. Basically, great show. They got a new bassist.
Oh, it's not the blonde hair?
It's not the long, where the guy, the receding hairline, but still had like middle of the back hair.
No, it's still him. It's just he's bald now.
That's him?
That's him, yeah.
He now has a goatee and shaved head. Holy, I thought it was a fucking completely different dude.
No, it's still him because the reason I know is because on Friday night, my daughter and I went to the boardwalk, and I made her stand outside and listen to three or four songs of Surreal.
And I didn't realize how short the lead singer is.
He now he has short hair too now.
Yeah. But they've been together 30 years.
Yeah.
That's what they kept saying. They got a shirt that says like 30 years ago and strong.
Dude, and yeah, I'm sorry I was a bad friend. I feel so awful.
I
especially Saturday night. That was the night like I was like, oh, and I was like coming up here tonight, I was like, God damn it. I need to at least address it.
Oh yeah. Well, you would be forced to address it on or off the air. It was going to happen.
Yeah. And it's funny because normally people would think, and I'm sure you guys were probably like, the wife doesn't want them to go out or want to do this stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And she was 100% all on board everything. Maybe not the beach, but all on board all the other stuff. But yeah, it was all me. It was all me being fucking lazy.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, and I don't accept your apology, by the way. I've learned I learned a couple things. One, I'll start at the Surreal concert, and I'll back it up to all you can eat restaurants and all. But I noticed that drunk white girls, when they get drunk, point at the band a lot.
Oh, really?
They just point like at things.
Huh.
On this, and I thought it was just my wife because she was culprit number one.
Yeah.
But all the drunk girls that made their way up to the front were all one finger pointing.
So basically, it's what I used to do, and they throw me out.
Yeah, in a way, but maybe it's because of the girls.
Oh, yeah, well, 100%.
On the front stage, there might have been maybe 8 to 10 girls that I could see, and they were all just pointing.
Was there a guy who was long in the crowd? And you have a keen eye for finding this stuff, so I guarantee you would have found this guy. He's like a groupie of the band. He has long blonde hair, and he wears high-heeled.
No, he wasn't there, but the drumstick lady was there.
The drumstick
lady?
Minus
the drumstick, but she was there. Front and center.
There's a funny story because I know someone who hooked up. I won't say who.
Oh, you already told us your dad did.
I didn't know I said
that. Yeah. Okay, so two things. The second, for one, my wife has officially become old, and it's not because it was birthday. So she brought baggies to take some of the all-you-can-eat fried chicken from Hooper's home,
which is like they advertise that.
It's great. It is great, phenomenal fried chicken. But when she broke out that baggie and was like, "Hey, give me that." was like,
let me take that in the silverware.
Yeah. I was like, what? You're not going to take this home? She's like, oh yeah, we're going to eat it tomorrow. Somebody eat it tomorrow. I did eat it the next day.
Ate it that night.
But I gave her tons of shit for it.
Oh, I would have too. Bring out a fucking baggie. Did she look around like she was like?
No,
to make
she didn't
sure?
give a shit.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say they don't. Well,
mainly because our waitress was nowhere to be found.
Oh yeah.
You know, so.
And I also blame it taking us so long to eat on the fucking waitress.
Yeah,
the waitress took so fucking long.
The same, probably had the same one. Okay, so the second one is, how do you feel about taking shoes off at a restaurant?
At the beach?
No, this wasn't the beach. This was the wife and I went out. It's totally separate. It was last week 2 weeks ago for anniversary. And I wouldn't say it was a fancy restaurant, but it was a fancy-ish restaurant. It would be a restaurant where couples only. You don't take your kids.
You were up here.
Yeah.
No, there's zero chance unless it is like. Unless you're going to like a dock bar or a bar that has like
if it's a beach bar, that's
like
different.
a beach bar that has sand.
This was a straight inside restaurant, no
like
outside.
In McDonald's, walking around barefoot.
I mean, it wasn't McDonald's.
I know.
But it was
inflation has
right. It was just a nice restaurant. Went up and there's just some lady just propped her shoes off, put it next to her in the seat.
Was she wearing like shoes that would be uncomfortable?
No, I mean, even still.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought it was just the cruddiest thing ever.
I think that's really cruddy to do.
Yeah.
Like in a restaurant where, it can like at the beach, people walk in places without shirts on. And it's totally
all in context,
acceptable because that's where you are. It's okay. But no, not at any fucking restaurant around. Any restaurant doesn't immediately call for like a beach type atmosphere. No, you can't take your shoes off. Oh, did she just walk? Did she walk around or did she just keep?
No.
Yeah, no. Still 0% chance. You can wear fucking flip flops,
right?
Which basically
I think they were
your feet.
They were like slip on, low heeled shoes.
Trash.
You know what I mean?
She's fucking trash.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so we're right there.
You know what I did see? Speaking of feet. I did see a video on Twitter. Did you hear that Twitter's going to change their name?
No, they changed their logo.
It's going to be
X.
like an X. Okay,
yeah.
I thought they were just
still
changing
Twitter. It's just an X as the logo.
But I saw a video where a guy pulls up at a light, and over there, and he looks over, and there's like a guy and a girl in the car next to him. The guy's driving, and he has the wife's whole fucking foot
in his mouth. Yes, I think I saw that.
And he is basically moving his hand like it's the shaft of a penis.
Yes,
and
like total disgust. Like,
it grossed me out. Like, I don't care about anyone's kinks or fetishes or whatever. You do you. But if you do it in public where people can see it,
yeah,
you get caught.
And it was the I don't know. It was the whole scene about it.
They like stopped at a red light.
Yeah, and it was like his mouth is all stretched open. You know what I mean? Like if you hit him in his stomach, he'd probably bite his wife's feet off.
Yes. And the way she's sitting in the chair, sitting in the seat, and the way her foot's positioned, it's not fucking comfortable. I can tell she can't be comfortable with how her like foot's kind of like leaning back, and he is just going like. He's not even going to town on the toes. He's going to town
like
on the whole
mid-sole. Like he's got like
he knows if she has flat feet or not because he's right at the arch.
Right, he's at the arch. She's tickling the little dangly thing in the back of his skirt.
He's like, babe, you gotta cut your toenails. I'm cutting my uvula. After he gets fucking busted with that, he's gotta fucking regret it.
No, I
don't think so.
You're rolling around town, windows down, no tint, your wife's entire hoof in your mouth at a stoplight. Come on now.
Yeah, I guess
like
not.
You at that point you have no shame. That dude doesn't give a shit if that video goes viral. He is who he is.
Now, speaking of regret, do you know this whole episode's regret and everything at the beach? But did you hear about the woman that was abducted?
Okay, so I So I did hear the story, but I never followed up. Like I saw the headline. So any details that you give me will be new to me.
Okay. So the story, her name was like Kaylee, I think Carly, Kaylee, something like that. And she was the story is she was driving. She saw a little kid in the road.
Right.
All right. So she pulls over to and says, goes to see with this kid. When she goes out, people like run out of the woods, grab her. And so the kid was just a ploy to grab this woman and take her into the woods.
Okay.
All right. So they find her car, they find her phone, her wig, and her purse and stuff, her wallet.
She just ditched she just got snatched.
Yeah, so she got snatched. So then a few, I guess 24, 48 hours later, she comes running out of the woods, like barely clothed, and a guy is just like, what happened? She says she's been abducted, and she doesn't know if she's been raped or things like that, but to call the police. So they call the police, and they start questioning her. It's a big story. And listening to it, I talked to my daughter. My wife and I talked to my daughter, and we're like
never stop for a baby on the side of the road.
You can't stop for anything when you're driving.
It's hard to help people now.
Yeah. It's just a tough thing, and just for peace of mind, like you can call the police, like right then and there, but don't stop to help because you don't know what's going to happen. So, comes to find out that the police do an investigation, and they think she's making it up. All right. So I read today, she actually admitted that she fucking made it up.
So she go camping for 2 days?
So she looked up the synopsis. They found on her computer that she looked up the like 24, 48 hours later. They looked at the synopsis of Taken. She was like reading the plot summary of Taken. She was looking up. Hold on, let me because I have it right here. She was looking up whether or not you have to pay for an Amber Alert.
Okay.
So I guess if you are the
if you make the police do an Amber Alert,
yeah, they have to do it. Like
if
an ambulance is called for you,
right.
You have to pay for it. I guess she was looking up that, and she searched for local bus tickets. So they found all that stuff, and just to prove that she ultimately admitted that she did it. And I was like,
but what's the motive?
I don't know. She can't be like fucking mentally all there.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but I don't know what the fucking like. There's zero incentive
unless she was just hoping to get some fame and fortune.
That's what I was thinking, like a book deal. She can make all that shit
right,
up.
Right, yeah.
But I was just like, man, she's got to. But what happens now? Like, can she be arrested for stuff?
Yeah, sure. For like following like false fake reports. I mean, it doesn't carry much weight.
I know, but I was just like, I wonder
like
how
she could be sued for the resources that were like for the time.
Yeah,
that it cost everything, that she could be sued for that amount that it cost. How about a quick joke?
Sure. Always up for it.
What's the difference between Iron Man and Iron Woman?
What?
One is a superhero, and the other is a simple command.
Oh, it's so bad. Half our 40% of our listeners is like, delete.
They used to be called jumpolines until your mom bounced on one.
I used to love your mama jokes.
Yeah.
This episode's been kind of a downer for me, personally. I realize so much stuff. Have to apologize. My apology doesn't get accepted. I realize I am now. Oh, here's the title. Steve's a bitch.
And let me pile on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go right ahead.
I mean, obviously, anyone who has listened to us, some of our longer time fans, if you have listened to us, if you've started listening to us from the beginning and not necessarily from like the last month and a half or so, we used to be called the Jim, Joe, Steve Show because there was 3 of us, Jim, Joe, and Steve.
Yes.
And there was an opportunity to record with all of us together down the beach. Jim, Joe, and Steve.
Oh, while we were down
While
there?
we were down. Because we had plans. You and I had plans. I lugged all the equipment down.
I know. And then
and Steve ghosted us. But we had the opportunity because Joe has a pretty busy schedule that he was on vacation and we were all around. We were just going to meet up one night and crank out a couple episodes. And that didn't happen.
You should have did Inappropriate with Joe and Jim.
Well, it wasn't about that. It was more about
I know.
all of us.
I know.
Friends. We are friends.
I know.
This is what friends do.
My old age and laziness took over, and I was sitting there thinking, like, am I fucking just depressed? Am I? I was like, man,
you could have came out for 1 beer on Saturday night, and then it would have turned into 10, and you would have had a blast.
If
we were
I would have
dancing.
just got my ass to see Surreal, to the Purple Moose,
you would have had a blast.
I would have been out there the whole night. Part of me worried that, because I've hung out with you and your wife a couple times, and sometimes people go hard and then have to leave early. And I was like, but Nicole was probably a trooper, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, she was on point.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yep. It was all me. It's all me. I've ruined it.
Well, I'll drink to that, Steve.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's gonna do it because I'm done. I'm tired of apologizing over and over again on this episode.
So thank you everybody for sticking with us, and I know that it's a little bit of a chore because we're doing every other week, but trust me, we are doing our best. As always, if you want to be part of the show, reach out to one of us. We're going to schedule a couple episodes. If you got a good story to tell, you want to do it in person, give me a call, give me a text, give us an email, whatever, reach out. Otherwise, we hope to see you in 2 weeks.
Yep, see you in 2 weeks.
All right, for Inappropriate, everybody, I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And we will see you next couple weeks.
Bye.
Got some pain in their life, you can see it in their eyes. They're changing at night underneath the dark skies. Forced to become something darker inside. You can feel the switch, feel the shift in the tide. They keep desiring something that's more inspiring. Their brains rewiring, old thoughts they start expiring.